Good morning, y'all. So today we are going to talk about mixed measures. We're going to use all of that we learned last week, and we're going to kind of bring it all together. Just so you know, Boots is here to help us learn. Say hi, Boots. Okay, she's not saying hi. So you want to say hi? You want to say hi, kitty? Okay. Anyway. What you might find helpful is the star reference materials. Notice they have length conversions in customary and metric, volume and capacity, customary metric, weight and mass, customary metric, and then time. And we're actually going to talk about time later this week, but this will be helpful for that too. The other page, the other side of it, we have perimeter and area. We haven't started talking about that yet. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so anyway, I'm also going to show you how to find this online in just a moment.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to get to your reference chart that I was just showing you. So this is in the modules. Go to modules, and then this is last week's. I'm also going to put this exact page in this week's lessons as well. So you could either go there. I'm also going to put a PDF of the chart in the lesson, so it will be linked there as well. But the idea is that you can come here and see there's some quick references, and then there's this. And so this is what you're going to see me referencing. You might want to have this pulled up on your computer, on a tablet, so you can, whenever you're making your conversions and when you're doing your adding and subtracting of different units, this can be very helpful for you. So I just wanted to show you where to find it, one of the places to find it, and kind of show you, give you an idea of what you could do with it.
All right, so when we're measuring, a lot of our measurements aren't just a perfect foot, right? It could be less than a foot, it could be a foot and some more, but usually our measurements are going to be a little bit more. So I want to use an example here. I have my tape measure. I'm going to measure the length of my laptop. And once you see it goes, so here's a foot. Put this on the edge here. Here's a foot, and it is actually a little more than 14 inches in length. I would say it's about 14 inches and a little more than a quarter. 14 and a quarter, we'll say. So we could say either it's 14 inches or 14 inches and a quarter, or we could say it's 1 foot and 2 inches, or 1 foot and 2 and a quarter to be more precise, because then that's 14 right here. It goes a quarter more, so 14 and a quarter. So we could say that. Either way would be correct. Either saying 1 foot and 14 and a quarter, or, sorry, I didn't say that right. Either saying 1 foot and 2 and a quarter inches would be correct, just like saying 14 inches and a quarter would be correct. So we have to be ready to think about measurements in multiple ways, and so that's why we're going to practice today. All right, now that you know how to find this online, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start with this. This is like a real story. So a table is 5 foot, 10 inches. But tablecloths are measured in inches, and this is true. When you go get a tablecloth, you just see the inches, and you're wondering for a moment, how large is my table? So what you can do before you go buy a tablecloth is measure your table, of course, and then you can convert that measurement from feet and inches into just inches. Okay, so I have a picture of a table here, and we know that every foot equals 12 inches. So I'm going to use my picture here as a kind of a number line almost. And I'll say, okay, well, 1 foot is 12 inches, 2 feet is 24, 3 is 36, 4 is 48, 5 is 60. So then we've got 60 inches, and then plus that 10 inches that's right here. It doesn't make a whole other foot because it's only 10 inches. So then you would put, you'd have to make sure you add that 10 as well. So 60 plus 10 is going to give us 70 inches. And then you could look for a tablecloth that is, so if it's 70 inches on the top, you're going to want your tablecloth to be bigger than that, so you'll have some hanging off the sides. And so yeah, you might look for something greater than 70, maybe 80 in length or so. Yeah. Okay, so we did this with the picture. So my next thing is for us to try this with math without drawing a picture. Minky wants to help, so I'm going to take a little break. Okay, so we're going to try this with math now. Now, when you're adding things, I cannot add feet and inches, right? They are different things. It's like saying I have, 5 apples and 5 oranges. You can't say you have 10 apples or 10 oranges. You would have 10 pieces of fruit, right? So these are feet, these are inches. So if I want to be able to add these numbers together, I either have to turn the inches into feet or the feet into inches. The problem is I don't have enough inches to turn them into feet. So I'm going to have to turn the feet into inches. Okay, and this is where your reference materials may come in helpful. Now I have it written here. Every foot is equal to 12 inches. If you forget it, you don't have it written down somewhere, you can go ahead and here say 1 foot, 12 inches. You can find it on your reference materials, and that can help you out as well. And because feet are bigger and we're going to something smaller like inches, we are going to multiply. So times 12, and that's going to get us inches. Okay, so 5 times 12 is 60. Now we can, I shouldn't have put a line there. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so put the line there. So now they're both inches. Now we can add them up. So 60 plus 10 is 70. 70 inches. That is the exact same answer we got over here with our number line and our drawing. Okay, so we are on the right track. Okay, let's look at the next one. Let me go ahead and cover this other one up. So this one we're adding, so make sure you know what you're doing first. We're combining some measurements. We have 12 feet 6 inches, and then we have 8 feet 4 inches. Okay, so I have to add the inches and the inches first. So 6 inches and 4 inches. 6 and 4 is 10, so that is 10 inches. Okay, so my next question is, how many inches are in a foot? 12, right? This number is less than 12. So it's going to stay in inches. If I want to, I can always go back to my measuring tape. Yes, 10 inches is here. 12 or a foot would be over here. This is less. So I can't regroup that into a foot. So it's going to be fine. We'll just keep it here. And then I can just add the feet and feet because they're the same unit. So then 12 plus 8 is 20. So if I add these two amounts, we have 20 feet, 10 inches, and then we're set. Okay, we don't have to draw a picture. Are we allowed to draw a picture? Absolutely. But with this one, you don't necessarily have to. Okay, next one. This one is subtraction. Okay, do we notice anything before we get started here? So remember, anytime we subtract, we always have to have the larger amount on top. Is the larger amount on top? Yes, 6 feet is more than 1 foot. So yes, that is correct. But if you'll notice, this is 6 feet 6 inches. And this is 7 inches. So I cannot take away 7 from 6. It's not possible. So I'm going to have to think about this in a different way. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little picture for myself. You don't have to draw it, but you might find it helpful. So I'm going to think of my 6 feet up here, 6. So that's 2, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, and 6 feet. So it's not just 6 feet. It has 6 inches. So for the inches, I'm going to do some dots. So that's 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, and 6 inches. So those dots are going to represent those additional inches that don't make a whole foot. Are they matching in size? No, but it doesn't really matter. It's fine. So the main thing is I have to find some more inches. Well, guess what? I have some inches here because every one of these feet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, has 12 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically cut this part, not really cut, but just I'm going to kind of scooch over and say, oh, well, this is 12 inches and this is another 6 inches. So all together, 12 and 6 is going to get me 18 inches. So now, can you take away 7 from 18? Absolutely. Easy to do. So how is that going to look over here? So I had 6 feet, but I took one of those off and I grouped it with the other inches. So now I have 5 feet. So I'm regrouping essentially. And then I took those and I made them into inches. I thought of them as inches. And I'm adding the 12 plus 6, and that's going to get me 18 inches, which is exactly what we did here. And then once we think of it as 18 inches, we can take away the 7. 18 minus 7 is going to be 11 inches. Okay, then inches are taken care of. Is 11 less than 12? Absolutely. If it was greater than 12 or 12 or more, we didn't need to regroup if it was 12 or more. So the fact that it's less than 12 means we did the right thing and we're on the right track. If it was 12 or greater, we would need to reevaluate what we did here. Okay, and so then I have 5 feet left because I used one of those feet and I grouped them with the inches. So I have 5 feet left, and then I need to take one away based on the problem that we've got here. So once I do that, I have 4 feet left. And of course, 5 minus 1 is 4. So the answer is going to be 4 feet and 11 inches. And sure enough, 4 feet. And then if I were to take away the 18, I would have, yes, 11 inches left. So go us. All right. Let's do some more practice. And flip to the back. So not all of our mixed measures are going to be length. Sometimes when you are measuring things, like measuring the weight of something, it's going to be not just pounds. And sometimes when you think of ounces are, when you think of large quantities of ounces, sometimes it's hard to imagine that. So it's easier to say 3 pounds, 5 ounces. And then in this case, we are subtracting 1 pound and 2 ounces. So we can do a couple of things. We can either, and we could have done this before too, we could either turn all of these into ounces and then subtract, or we could continue like we've been practicing and then make sure that we group the pounds and the pounds and the ounces before we do our math. Okay, so before we start on this one, I need to refresh my memory. How many ounces are in a pound? So I'm going to come over here to my reference materials, and pounds are weight, okay? And pounds are also customary, and so 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I'm going to do a little note up here. Sorry. 1 lb equals 16 ounces. Okay, so these are both quite a bit smaller than 16, but we're going to need to keep that in mind when we're adding. Oh, we're not adding, we're subtracting. Good thing that we're recognizing that. Okay, so ounces and ounces, pounds and pounds. Do I have my greater amount on top? Sure do. Okay, so now I can subtract. 5 is greater than 2, so I can go ahead and just take away. I can do 5 minus 2, and I'll get 3 ounces left. And then I can simply just say 3 minus 1, and that's going to be, 2. 2 pounds. So my answer is going to be 2 pounds, 3 ounces. Could we draw a picture? We could absolutely draw a picture, but this one's not regrouping, so that one's pretty straightforward and right there. Okay, next one. This is going to be our last one for the day, and then you're going to be practicing this on your own on the assignment. that is at the bottom of this lesson. All right, so this one is gallons and cups. So again, I need to refresh my memory. This time I'm going to volume and capacity. I'm going to go to customary. So gallon is 4 quarts. Oh, I'm going to have to figure this out a little bit. Okay. So, or you know what else I could do? I could also think of my big G. I could either draw my big G. I know that I have my big G in my notebook. So I'm going to go ahead, flip back in my notebook. Oh, I see it. I'm going to find out how many cups are in a gallon. Okay. Oh, here we go. So here's my big G. That it represents a gallon. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So there's 16. Oh, sure enough, 16 cups for 1 gallon. Well, how convenient. We were just kind of working with the same sort of thing over here. So 1 gallon equals 16 cups. Okay. So now we are subtracting. And it looks like we've got our larger amount on the top, which is how we should have it. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, well, we have 7 and we're taking away 12. So we're going to have to regroup. I'm going to go ahead and, for my brain's sake, I'm going to go ahead and make a little number line, just like I did before. So that's my 4 gallons. And then my 7 cups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons, 4 gallons. Do you have to do this? No, you don't, but it can help you kind of visualize what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take this last gallon, and I'm going to think of that as 16 cups plus 7 cups is going to get me 23 cups. Okay, so let's do that over here now. So 3 gallons, sure enough, 3 gallons. I'm going to add 16. 16 plus 7 is 23. So it's just like we're regrouping. We're just having to regroup a little bit differently, and that's totally fine. Okay, so now we're ready to subtract 23 minus 12. So 3 ones minus 2 ones, that's 1. And then 2 tens minus 1 10, that's going to be 1 10. So I've got 11 cups left. And sure enough, we can check that over here. 23 minus 12. Okay, good. And then we can take away the gallon that we need to take away here. So that leaves us with 2 gallons. All right, so 2 gallons and 11 cups is our answer. All right, so go ahead and practice, have fun. Don't forget, you've got tools to help you with this. And I will see you later. Bye.